Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Let's Chat Reality. I'm Michael,
And I'm Molly.
and we are here today to do a little preseason preview and draft of the Survivor 48 cast. The last videos just dropped as we're recording this, so we have all the information on all these new players we're about to watch for the next few months here, and we are so excited to get to know them a little bit better and draft them and see who wins. And here to help us out with that is the one and only Matt Scott, host of Pod Friends, The Pride Has Spoken, the Wrestling Wrap Up, and I hope I didn't miss anything else. But Matt, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Yes, there's all the things. We're doing the wrestling kickback now. Also, that's a whole other
Ooh.
thing over on Recap Kickback. So, but yeah, Pod Friends is active and live and well right now. So I feel like we have like a cross Let's Chat Reality Pod Friends integration here, which feels
I
nice.
love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here. We are, first of all, we are loving season 3 of Pod Friends.
Oh
And
my gosh.
so glad. Anything that you want to tease about any future episodes of Pod Friends coming up here?
Nope, no. I will say the one thing that has been on my mind a lot is I'm wanting more of those voicemails because I only have a couple of episodes left this season. My season finale, I want it to really be like about the pod friends, about the people, so people could leave voicemails. Speakpipe.com/pod friends. I mean, preferably if you've like listened to pod friends, but also just leave a voicemail. I don't, it'll be part of the podcast. So that's really that. But it's been a really fun season. We've had Carolyn Weegar, who's also currently on the Traders 3, of course, from Survivor 44 on. That was phenomenal. Kellen Bechtold was on. James Jones from Survivor 43 was on that just this past week. So a lot of survivoring going on in the Pod Friends world, and even more survivors in the archives. But I've had so much fun doing this, and I'm just glad that people actually tune in. So thanks for that, and thanks for just like
Yeah.
plugging all of my stuff for me so that I don't have to.
Of course, of course. Well, since we're here to talk about Survivor today, Matt, what is your history? We always like to kind of start out by getting the history of how our guests kind of got into reality TV to start, and since kind of the focus on Survivor, how you started watching Survivor, and what your first season was.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember exactly when I first started watching reality TV, but I really remember like MTV and watching The Challenge and then catching that. And with Survivor and actually with Big Brother also, I remember coming in at this around the same time. It was Big Brother 7, but it was also like Survivor Cook Islands, which was just like a fascinating season because I remember seeing the branding of all of it. Like, oh my gosh, it's so controversial. All these people of different races are going at it in this game. And that was also when my oldest sister was home from college. So it was like our bonding activity because she's 8 years older than me. So it was like our bonding activity for a bit. And then she dropped off watching Survivor and Big Brother. And I just like stayed hooked ever since, of course. So it's been awesome. And I should also just like shout out that you gave all my RHAP plugs, but like as we're recording this, it's the 15th anniversary of Rob as a
Yeah.
podcast, as we know. And what's so surreal about that too is that it's been 5 years now since I've been part of RHAP because of the class of 2020 and RHAP. So it's like insane to think about my relationship with this show, but I just feel like I keep getting like as close as possible to Survivor without being on the show, which is like a very weird, surreal, beautiful place to be. I could have never
Yeah,
imagined it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
can't believe it's been 5 years since the class of 2020. That's
I
wild. I mean, it's been a
yeah, I
third of the
haven't
life of the
even
podcast now.
I thought you could say a third of your life, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, that's
I wish 5 years was a third of my
yeah,
life.
same here. I guess so, yeah. But no, I think it's cool. I love Survivor so much. It's like my number one show, my number one love, and I also
Yeah.
just love how it's evolved so much with the new era. As you know, like I talk so much about representation on podcasts and otherwise, and that's so important to me. But I love that, like I loved what Survivor was before, even though there were a lot of cringe moments of like, I don't like how this is looking and going and everything. But now I just love that. I feel like Survivor and all of the changes they've made in the new era are for me, which feels cool, or for more people, which is really awesome. And I'm glad we could talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, then let's kind of get into the season 48 cast here. Molly, I know you've watched all of the videos, all the interviews. What are your overall thoughts on this cast?
Yeah, I am really interested to see how everyone works together. I feel like we have some big personalities going into this cast, so I feel like everyone watching those videos, like I'm like, wow, I feel like everyone has a shot here, and they all were very confident in
Mm.
themselves as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how people work together and just overall with different kind of age groups and with different people from different lifestyles and other things that it's all going to mesh. We'll see how it meshes together, but I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's a bit of an older cast, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
just overall. There's not a lot of them
Yeah.
like in their 20s. It's a lot in 30s and 40s, it feels like, which can be interesting. I think that sets it apart from something like Big Brother, which generally skews pretty young.
Mhm.
Matt, what are your thoughts on overall?
I love it. And yeah, Molly was right. Like the big personalities is something that I'm getting from this cast, which I appreciate because I know some people watch Survivor more for the gaming of it all and they want to see like the best players strategically going at it, but I love the characters and it's been cool getting to know more of them. And I also just appreciate like, and maybe I'm totally wrong with this, but I feel like, in my opinion, there are definitely people who stand out as being like contenders, and then there are people who I'm really glad they could be on our TV for however long they're on it. But yeah, this is a good one. I would love to be proven wrong with all of that, and just have great TV and some of the great characters surprising us. So I'm pumped, and this is my first ever draft. Like, what a dream to be
Ooh.
part of a draft. So um, I'm I'm I feel like I'm putting my game face on. Like I have my pride has spoken buff. I need to like wrap it, put it on or something, and get ready for war right now.
Yeah, well, it's our first draft too, so we're very
Mm-hmm.
excited. And so let's kind of go over how this is going to go. So we're going to go tribe by tribe here. So we'll start with the Logi tribe, then the Vula tribe, then the Siva tribe, and then we'll
Mm-hmm.
each end up with two. So we'll go one by one, picking a player for our teams, and so we'll end up each at the end of this with two from each tribe. So as we're going, we can kind of talk about like the tribe as a whole, how we think the dynamics are going to go within the tribe, and whether we think they're going to go to tribal a lot or kind of in pre-merge, or kind of how often we'll see them at tribal with Jeff. And then we'll just kind of do that, go tribe by tribe here. So let's start with Logi. Now, Matt, as both our guest and the first alphabetically, just happened to be,
Oh
um,
wow, that's
here,
close one there. Close
since we're all
call.
M's here.
Yeah.
Matt, you get first pick. So,
From
who do you
Logi?
want? Yeah, so let's go from
Wow.
Logi
Oh
first.
my
And you get to
gosh.
choose one first.
Yeah, so
I
who
will.
won,
I thought
and
I was gonna
then
choose all six of them right
yes.
now and then run with it. I should have
We'll do
tried
the
that.
snake draft.
Yeah, and I do have my number one pick, and I might butcher his first name, so please correct me because I'm blanking on how to say. But is it Shahin Davari?
I figured it wasn't Joe when you said that you were not going to pronounce
No,
it.
it's not Joe. Not Joe.
I think it's yeah, Shaheen.
Shaheen,
Yeah.
Shaheen, yes, Shaheen is the number one draft pick. Come on over, Shaheen. I need we need
All
a
right.
bell or something like
Yes, I know. I need the rock bell.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too, actually.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah,
So tell us why you chose Shaheen.
yeah. So, well, number one, something I heard about him is that he was actually an alternate for a previous season, which they've had a really good track record lately. But I also feel like he's 38. He's not, he kind of falls maybe like right on the average age of this cast or
Yeah.
somewhere where I think he'll blend in really well in that sense. I also appreciate that he's a speech and debate professor, so there's a bit of that background. And I think the bigger thing for me is that just the fact that like you were out there, you were so close to playing, and then you didn't make it. And so it's not a situation where you're not going to try again. Like, you know that you're going to play at some point, and you just have the time to sit around and think about it. And then you watch this, like, you watch and see how others play, and you're able to process that. But I'm I'm really pumped to see how he plays, and if he has that spark that I believe both Kenzie and Rachel were alternates. So
I know
it's gonna
Rachel
be
was. Yeah, Kenzie might have been too.
might have been, but I'm really pumped to see how he shows up in this game. So he has to be my number one pick. But I have to say, with Logie, there were a lot of contenders for my picks. So I'm very curious to see who you both pick.
Yeah, okay, good first pick. Yeah, no. Shaheen, I feel like, was somebody that was talked about a lot in this Survivor 46 preseason interviews with Mike, and talked about a lot again here. It seemed like by
Mm,
a lot of the players. So I think that's a good pick. I think he's making an impression, and yeah, I
we'll
I,
see.
I can see why you chose him.
Thank you.
All right. Well, then let's go to. Oh, I guess I'm up next
Yeah, your turn,
alphabetically.
Michael.
Okay. All right. I am gonna go with somebody who I think I got just like the best vibe from. I feel like in the interviews, in terms of I think that they are going to be very likable and get along with everybody in their tribe. So I think I'm gonna go with Eva.
Mm,
I think that Eva she has a great story. She's the first, I believe, openly autistic survivor castaway.
that's right.
And I just feel like everybody's going to fall in love with her. I just think that she's going to be somebody who, if there ends up being like a split on the tribe, I feel like she's going to be one that both sides are kind of trying to get on their side. And the only problem with that, could be that if she's close with everybody, they could feel betrayed by her. If she doesn't go with them, I could see that. But I just feel like she's going to be super likable and kind of a social butterfly. So, yeah, she's going to be my first pick.
Well, you chose who I was gonna choose, Michael,
Uh
but uh,
Why do you
I'm
think I picked the order this way?
yeah. I also am rooting for Eva. But I'm gonna go with Star as my first draft
Hmm.
pick. I think
Okay.
that she just overall was her interview was super fun to watch, and I feel like as someone like entertaining wise, but also will be strategic in the show, like that's someone who I think could go pretty far. And also the representation is great with a gay black woman, so that's also great to see
Hmm.
in the show.
Hmm.
So I'm rooting for her and hope she goes far.
All
Yeah,
right.
she has
Yeah.
like such an electric personality. I didn't even finish her like watching her preseason interview, but I was, oh my gosh, I'm sold. I'm on board. Like,
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
you in my life forever, please.
I feel like that's a good pick. I feel like I could see Star making it pretty far here. I feel like, yeah, I think that she's just like lights up a room is the
Hmm.
vibe that I
Hmm.
get from her. So I think that, yeah, I think there's a lot of good picks on Logie,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, I feel
There
like if we
really
weren't
are.
doing this by tribe, a lot of my top picks would have been on Logie.
Same here,
Same.
actually. Yeah.
So we can start with
Ooh.
stack. But then now I get
Oh
to choose
yes,
my
Molly. Okay, yeah,
second.
you were snaking around, so Molly,
Oh
go
no. Oh my
again.
You
god,
get
Molly,
the first
don't
and
That's
the
okay,
last.
don't
because every
don't take
tribe we're
my
doing it
pick.
differently. So
Don't
yeah,
don't
everyone
take
will get
my
a kind of
pick.
every placement at some point.
Leave the person I want for last.
We'll see what happens. Well, I'm gonna choose Bianca next. Oh, is that who you
I'm
wanted?
hurt.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'll just say, because you'll give your explanation, Bianca and I we're like the same age. We're from the same hometown, West Orange, New Jersey,
Oh.
and she also lives in the DC area. So we have a lot in common. We also do both like communications related
Oh
things,
yeah.
but I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay. I'm
Okay.
not hurt.
Sorry.
I'm only a little bitter.
I also like her because I mean I'm from Maryland, so now that she lives in the
Mm,
DC area, I'm like, okay, at least
Mm.
there's that DMV connection. But also I feel like because she's been a fan of Survivor her whole life, like I feel like she's gonna have some really good knowledge in the show and just being in the season of Survivor, and I feel like she's gonna just overall like know how to play the game. I don't know if she's gonna be that strong in the challenges, but I think she'll have a good social game and just overall will make it pretty far.
Yeah, I could
Hmm.
see it. I feel like I see Bianca as being either like an early exit or having kind of like this Michelle Fitzgerald great, like,
Oh,
winning, game. So
yeah.
I
I
could see it
know.
going either way.
I know. I completely agree, and I even wrote down with her like, ugh, worried, but I gotta pick her. And like
Yeah,
other amazing notes. So I agree. I think she's a great pick, and what a great name, Bianca Roses. Like
I
what?
know. I know. She has the name of a legendary Survivor player. So,
Agreed.
okay, so I'm next. Oh my God, who's
Hmm.
left? Okay, so we have Joe and Thomas as our last two here.
Yeah.
Oh, am I gonna go with my head or my heart? I think is the
Wait,
the decision
this
here.
is so much tension building up.
I
Because
know.
your head
Oh,
and your heart.
because I'll just say, like, I think I really love Thomas. Like, I just loved his interview, and he just seems to have such a great personality. But I kind of get like this weird, David. Oh my God, what was his name from the first boot from last season? From Pod Save America.
Oh,
Oh,
John Lovett.
John
John.
Lovett. Why did I think his name was
Yeah.
David? That messed me up. Okay. Yeah, like I could see kind of like this John Lovett thing of like this kind of more like kind of I don't not that Thomas is like super well known, but he has a lot of celebrity connections. Thing of like a Survivor fan who just kind of doesn't fit in with the tribe. Oh, yeah. So I think I have to go with Joe. I think I'm gonna go with Joe. I just
Oh,
feel like I could see Joe. I like Joe. I think that he could, be very likable and helpful with the tribe, helpful with the challenges, and I just don't think that they're going to get him out super early if they go to tribal. So, yeah, I think I'll go with Joe.
and that does leave me with
That does leave
Thomas.
that does leave me out with
But
Thomas.
yeah, I love that we're doing the draft this way because now I just feel like I could comment on this tribe
Yeah,
because one like the way that I was thinking about this was who do I feel like again are like the contenders, and so many of the Loggy people were in that category. But I just maybe just the West Orange, New Jersey in me, but I just feel like Bianca and Joe. I feel like there's going to be a bonds there. But Bianca might hate Joe. I don't know. So I think it could go either
ooh,
way. Um, and
okay,
that's where I'll leave that for now. But I would have picked Joe. He's such like like a teddy. He seems like he could be a teddy bear type,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
really sweet.
I That's kind of how I see it too. I think that people are going to really like him and he's going to be useful, like, with camp life and challenges. So I just feel like he kind of has that full package in that way where I don't see
Hmm.
them necessarily getting rid of him like pre merge. So, all right. Well, we have the Logi tribe drafted now. So to summarize, on Team Matt, we have Shaheen and Thomas. On my team, we have Eva and Joe. And on Team Molly, Star and Bianca. So let's move over now to the Vula tribe. So I guess I'm first on starting with Vula. I guess overall, just with the Vula tribe, before I kind of start going individually here, I feel like the women on the Vula tribe, I feel like are the big personalities that are going to be the ones kind of
Mm,
fighting for power. They seem like the more strategic ones. And then the men kind of unusually feel more laid back, is the vibe that I get. That I think that the women are going to be the strategic forces here, which could be a very interesting tribe dynamic. But what do you guys think overall of the Vula tribe?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like all of those women I was gonna want to pick. Like I was like, I don't know who I
Yeah.
want to choose
mm,
of these. And then with especially Cedric, I feel like is kind of calm. Like from his interview, I feel like
totally.
he might get overtalked from everyone else. But yeah, so we'll have to see how they all work together.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with
Don't do
Kevin.
it. Don't do it. Oh wait, you could go with Kevin. That's fine.
Ooh, oh, I think I know who you were probably going to go with. Well, you're going to have that option in
I
just a
don't know if
second.
you know who I was
Um,
gonna go with because I don't know who I
Oh,
was gonna
maybe
go
not.
with.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Kevin, I feel like is okay. So Kevin is kind of weirdly, I guess, like the most kind of like the physically most fit here, but I don't think that he gives off that vibe of somebody who's like super intimidating in that way. So I think they're gonna see
Mm.
him kind of like maybe kind of like a Joe, honestly, like where it's I think he's gonna be like super helpful to them in the challenges. But I don't think I think that he's just seems super likable and super laid back, and I think that he's going to just kind of like not come off as intimidating in a way that they feel like they need to like blindside him, get rid of him before the merge. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Kevin here.
I think that's a really strong pick, and I will say with Kevin, I especially after listening to his interview, I was just on the fence and not like not sure which way to go with him because he is super analytical and you need to be
Mm-hmm.
able to be flexible and adaptable and like read people, and so we'll see what he's able to bring.
Yeah. All right. Well, Molly, you are up next.
I'm gonna pick Stephanie. I
Mm.
think I just overall just really I get a good sense that she knows who she is and she's just like very strong personality, and but I feel like she's gonna be able to tone that back a bit in like with everyone else from the cast, that it's not going to be overwhelming to people so that she can make it far, but then also like at the end be like, well, actually, like this is all the things that I did. And I think she's really well spoken, and just she's worked really hard to get to where she is in her career as well, so I think that's also a good quality in someone, that she's very hardworking. So I'm rooting for Stephanie.
Yeah. I like Stephanie. I think that Stephanie, she's a big fan.
Yeah.
Seems like one of the bigger fans
Hmm.
on this season. And I could see people getting a bit annoyed with her on the tribe. I could see it. I don't know if the other women in particular, I don't know how she's going to vibe with them, but I think that if she does kind of land in a good place here, she's going to have the strategic chops to work her way, to get pretty far.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Well, Matt, you are
Oh
up, and you get
no.
two picks in a row.
Oh no. Okay, wait. That's probably a good thing for me because I really wasn't sure between two people. So it's good that I have two. And I guess the first pick that I'll go with, if it doesn't matter, but I'll go with, I'm gonna go with Mary. I really like Mary. Mary, who's a substance abuse counselor, and just like has such a great, powerful background. I really like her, and I think I'm hoping that she's really intuitive and able to connect with people. Because immediately when I saw a substance abuse counselor, I thought of Carolyn Weger, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping she's able to read and connect with people. And it there was like some of what she mentioned around wanting to have control, which
Mhm.
makes me a little nervous. But also, she just seems like she could be a really fun person to be around and keep the vibes of the
Yeah.
tribe up. So I'm gonna go with Mary for my first pick here. And oh my gosh, this is such high pressure. I didn't realize that drafts were going to be like this. I
I know
do
it
really
really
like
is nerve wracking.
it is. I like a lot of the people here. Oh gosh. I'm gonna you know what? I'll follow my my gut, my heart. And so let me just say that, I really wanted to have Bianca, from West Orange, where we love pizza. And then also have my current pick from Bula, Justin from Luigi's Pizza. Shout out to
Uh,
Justin. I think that Justin's someone who, in a very authentic way, could go under the radar. I think his hair will benefit him. But I think also just the fact that one of my red flags for players is when they go in and they are lying about their profession, because my belief is that people pick up on the fact that you're lying or holding something back. I like that Justin could be honest about the pizzeria, talk about pizza. Hopefully that doesn't like make anyone too angry when they're starving.
yes, I don't know if
And
that's going to help him much.
yeah, that might be like his downfall, unfortunately. But I mean, he has like such a cool background, like doing things, political related stuff. Like they talked about the Yale educated aspect of things, but I just feel like I want some of that pizza. I want some of his pizza. And I wish he could make a pizza from scratch out in Fiji. Like that's what I would want.
Yeah.
So Mary and Justin are my picks from Vula.
Good choices. Maybe
Thank you.
Justin will bring a pizza to a live show one day, and
Oh,
we'll all get
wow. Oh my
praised.
gosh. My mouth is watering right now.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah. Mary. Okay, Mary. Have you seen her Twitter? Mary, not in a bad way. I don't want to ruin anything. No.
I'm like, what
Sorry,
did she
that
do?
was a bad way to explain it. Like that she did something problematic. But no, she's hilarious on Twitter. Is the way that I actually meant
Okay.
that. Kind of changed my like perception of her. Like I saw this earlier
Yeah.
today, and I was like, "Ooh, I actually think that Mary is going to be really fun. Not only like on the show, probably, but like
Mhm.
just kind of being in the community, like tweeting during the episodes. I could see her being really, really fun.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah, I
will.
think two good
Yeah.
picks.
I know, and that's really good to hear because I feel like with certain people on the cast, including Mary, like she has such a powerful story, and part of me thinks like, what what does casting even think will happen with different people? And you could say that anyone has a chance, but I think there are also some people who like, and I get it because it's happened to me too. Like, it's totally fine to be a personality hire, and that happens in casting, but I just like it's cool to hear that she's able to have those like solid interactions with people in addition to having a powerful backstory and I think a really cool career where she could probably interact with people well. So thank you for
Yeah.
validating my choices, which I kind of wasn't sure about.
Yes.
I like
All right.
Mary too. I'm excited to see her in the season.
Yeah.
But for my next pick, I'm gonna go with Sai. That's how she says it, right? Say.
I messed you up. I
Yeah. No,
told you
you.
that. I know I messed you up because it's taking everything in me not to say Psy because there is a Real Housewives of New York named Psy. And it's spelled the same way, but
Oh.
pronounced like Psy. So it really, every time I say that name, I have to think
Yeah,
twice.
I was thinking Say, and then because we were just talking about it, that's why I messed it up. But it's okay. We'll Say. I think. Well, she works. Well, she quit her job, but she works in a similar field that I work in marketing, and I feel like she has been training a lot. In her interview, she was saying like how much she was swimming and all this stuff. I mean, everyone seemed like they were training a lot, but I feel like
Mm.
she's really gonna actually impress us at challenges more than I would expect. If maybe you just saw her from the outside, you'd be like, oh, she's probably not gonna be that strong. But I have faith in her, and I also think she's a really fun personality and will be really fun to watch. So I'm excited to see her how she does this season.
Yeah, no, I like Say. I think that Say feels like somebody. I feel like I see Say and Stephanie not getting along. And I don't know why I think that. I just have this vibe that I think the two of them are going to be kind of like fighting for control of the tribe because I think that they seem like the two most strategically minded. And so I could see the
Mm.
tribe kind of splitting off into two and each of them trying to like kind of grab their numbers. And I feel like one of them's going to make it to the merge and the other's not. So I don't know which one it'll be, but that's kind of how I just kind of see things playing out here.
I think it's going to be messy between. I mean, that tribe. I think in general will be kind of messy.
Yeah.
And maybe Justin could grab the broom out of the pizza shop closet and sweep it.
And then Cedric will just be there chilling by the beach.
Yeah.
I know,
Well,
right?
Cedric is now on my team here. And I'm okay with that. You know, Cedric, I don't think that Cedric is going to be the most strategic. I don't know that he's going to be the most helpful in challenges, but I feel like he's going to be likable. And sometimes there's just something to be said for a calming force and somebody who you can kind of just like go to and, you know, vent or strategize, whatever, and someone who's just kind of going to be a sounding board for you. And I feel like that's kind of how I see Cedric being. He's very smart. So I think that he's not going to be just kind of like, you know, a number for someone easily manipulated. He's obviously very smart as a surgeon. So I think that there's potential for him. Well, all right. So we have our Vula tribe picks now. And let's go over to Siva. So let's see who starts.
I
Molly,
do.
you
I
start.
know. I wish I could claim
Sorry.
it.
Well, first,
No, go.
let's just kind of overall, what are our thoughts on the Siva tribe as a whole?
Oh, I like the Siva tribe. I think, well, especially with the people that I like in it. I feel like of those people, like they're all strong competitors, and I think overall, like we have a lot of different personalities here too, which will be interesting to see. But I really like this tribe.
I feel like this tribe is going to be a bit of a mess. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
no, I right, please keep going. I have similar
No,
thoughts.
I just yeah, like I just feel like there's a mix here. Physically, I feel
Mm,
like I could see them being a tribe that doesn't go to tribal a lot pre-merge. Is my vibe with this? I feel like I could see them kind of being just like the one that where you don't see a ton of on the show, maybe necessarily until closer to the merge. But yeah, there's some personalities here. Matt, what do you think?
mm. Yeah, huh? There are definitely personalities here. This is such a fascinating tribe. I'll just admit that this was the tribe that definitely. It's not even that I had like a division of how I ranked the different players of the tribes or split up, but I had a pass section, and there were a number of people on this tribe in my pass section, and I have a feeling
Hmm,
maybe one of them I will say that I would change my mind on, but
okay.
yeah, we'll see. It's fun. They'll be fun to watch. Big
Yeah.
personalities. I
Yeah.
I think I know who Molly's going to go with first, but I'm not going to say anything.
Ooh, I
Oh,
don't know that I know. So
okay.
Molly,
Well, I
what
know
do you
who
Or
I'm
know?
who I
going
hope
with.
that Molly will go
Good.
for first.
I'm
I'm
glad you
gonna
know.
choose Kyle.
Oh,
Ah, okay.
Were you thinking I was gonna choose Charity,
I
or
can't
who did you?
say.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to say. I don't want to
Okay,
say
that
until
was
we do all
between
the
the two
picks.
of them actually, but I'm going with Kyle just because I think I know, like you said, you don't like when people lie about their jobs, but I feel like the
Yeah.
lawyers who lie, like they do well. So, and I think because that makes him like he's a strategic player, but then also like I think he's gonna build really good alliances with people. He just seems like a likable guy,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and I get a good vibe from him that he's gonna go pretty far. I hope.
I
Yeah.
got a good vibe from Kyle too. He may have been my first choice as well, honestly, if I had
Mm. I
had
got a
the
good
option.
vibe from him, but I again like that. I wouldn't have picked him first just based on the lying thing and
Yeah.
maybe thinking that people will suss that out somehow because he was only a teacher for 2 years, and I don't know how old he is, but he's 30. So
Right.
most of his like I'm guessing maybe he was like 22, 23, or 24, and then he's been an
Hmm.
attorney ever since. So I just have a feeling that people will sniff that out.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very
We'll see.
possible.
Who knows? Or you could win the
Yeah.
game and I'll be completely wrong, which I'm fine with too. I'd be happy for him.
Well,
Is it
Matt,
my
it is
turn?
your
Yes.
turn.
Oh my gosh. This is the worst. This is so stressful. Because I feel wait, just by my math, I'm picking someone and then I'll probably get the person that no one chooses. Is that how that works? No.
No,
Am I
I'll get the last one.
no. Yeah, Molly will get the last one, so you'll get the
Oh,
last two. Yeah,
sorry,
you'll get to pick
Molly.
a
I was like, wow, I'm going to be in that horrible spot where I don't get to choose, which was that
I
last
have a
round.
feeling I know who
Uh,
Molly's going to end up with here.
I
Yeah.
do too. But, for the story, that'd be fun. It's interesting. I think I'm between two people, and there's, oh, gosh. I want her to do so well. I'm actually going to go with my gut here and pick Camilla.
I thought
Mm.
that's who you were going to go with.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, Camilla like is such a super fan and knows the game well, which honestly I feel like is a huge. I mean, there are only a handful of like true super fans who've been watching for a long time. Like there's some people, including um, Thomas from Logi, who like binged and watched everything in the last 2 or 3 years. But with Camilla, I really loved hearing how she explained the game, and I felt like in listening to her interview, I was really captivated and drawn in. With a lot of people, I was listening and then I kind of made a decision on them and didn't necessarily finish. But with her, I wanted to hear everything that she had to say. And what do I love about her? I mean, she mentions in her interview Erica as a comparison, which I think is fascinating. I do feel like while Erica's really charismatic, like Camilla seems so fun and I think my only concern with Camilla honestly is that people might and I think this is just hard when you're like not when you I think she's Canadian too, right? So it's like when you have so much in
Yeah.
common with a winner, a relatively recent winner, maybe people will suss that out. But I like Camilla, and I'm going with Camilla, and I'm all for Camilla.
All in on Camilla.
All in on
Okay,
Camilla.
I get two picks here. I think first I'm gonna go with Charity. I think that
Are you
Charity
sure?
has a good vibe. I feel like I feel like she's going to kind of lay low. Like I see her as somebody. Well, no, maybe not. Now that I'm thinking back to her interview, I don't know that she's going to be someone that lays low necessarily, but I just feel like she's going to. I feel like she just has the vibe of somebody who I feel like is going to be pretty decent at the game. She has a pretty good head on her shoulders, I feel like. So I think that she'll fit
Mhm.
in relatively well here. And yeah, I think that she's. I don't know that she's gonna win, but I feel like she's gonna kind of be like somewhere like mid merge. I feel like if I had to just kind of go off of her vibe.
Just to comment on
Um,
that too, and it sounds like we were all really thinking of Charity as like a potential top pick or something.
yeah,
But yeah, it's
yeah,
hard. I feel like there's a lot of like maybe she's a high deviation pick, and, but she's a flight attendant. Like flight attendants just know how to deal with people, and she talks about having being able to control the energy in a room and in a space. I
yeah.
don't know why. I don't know if this is the right comparison, but I in my mind, like Genevieve is someone who she kind of reminds me of.
Oh,
Yeah, but also she loves Russell Hantz, so
yeah.
uh,
That's a red flag. That's a
red
red
flag.
flag. Yeah,
Mm,
but yeah, I feel like she's like all talk in that sense. Like I don't know that I actually see her
right.
playing like Russell. Like I feel like she's gonna get out there, and I think she's not gonna play the way that she kind of is saying that she's going to. But
Yeah,
I could be
and
very
I think
wrong.
she, yeah, I think she's also very self-aware too. So
Yeah,
I think she could do really well here.
yeah. All right. Well, then what's my next pick? Okay, who do I have left? We have Chrissy, David, and Mitch. That's a combo.
Wait, no, there's
That's
also. Oh wait, you said Chrissy. Okay, just making
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oof. I guess I'll. I guess I'll go with. Oh, I think I'll go with Mitch. Yeah, I think that Mitch came across. I really really like Mitch. I think that he comes across as he also has a great story. The first stutter
Hmm.
contestant, survivor contestant with a stutter. Um, I didn't love the fact that he wants an all male final three. That's concerning.
I missed that.
But
Uh-oh.
okay, I missed it too during the interview, but then I was listening to another podcast of people talking about the cast, and they mentioned that he said that in the interview. So maybe they got that wrong, but it was multiple people who like said that they heard that.
No, I
So
believe you. And just to like pile on for a second, I feel like Mitch said something else. I don't know if it was like his favorite players or people he wanted to play like, but there were just like two. I distinctly remember it being like two kind of problematic people that he chose. And I was like,
mm,
and then I went and I looked and I was
yeah.
like, who's Mitch? And I'm like, what? Like, Mitch seems so like fun and inspirational and kind of nice and sweet. But
Right. No, that's it, yeah. I was taken aback when I heard this, like things that he was saying, because I was like, it doesn't quite fit with the vibe that he gives off.
mhm.
So, but I think that people are going to really gravitate to him. I think that he's going to be a very likable person on his tribe. I don't think that
Mm.
people are going to want to get rid of him super quickly. Um, so yeah, I think with those three as my options. I'm gonna go with Mitch.
I
Matt, you are up next.
yeah. Oof. Ooh. This is between David and Chrissy. This is actually
David
kind
and
of funny
Chrissy.
because they're legitimately my two bottom like pass no way. Chrissy, I'm like never. But the thing is, here's the thing, because I feel like you both think I'll pick David, but
I do think that.
I don't like him. I
I
don't
don't
like
either.
him. I just don't, and I don't even remember what part of it was. But then Chrissy, this is another question, Michael. I'm like, do I pick with my head or with my heart? And
Right, yes.
honestly, neither of them is my head or my heart. But
Right.
I, you know what? I have a feeling about this. I have a feeling that okay, I'm gonna go with David, even though I really don't want to. But I'm going with David because I just have a feeling that he's gonna be so amazing and lovely and grow on everybody.
Mm.
But I just what? Okay, could you help me out here? Because I was so against him that I don't even have a full concept of what it is that's the reason that he's so low here, but I don't know what it was.
I
What were
think
your
he just
impressions of
like,
David?
yeah, there wasn't anything that he said in particular that like was like, oh, red flag, red flag. But I think it was just like he's kind of like self-proclaimed that he's arrogant. So I think like I just kind of believe him. So I don't know that anything
Mm-hmm.
he said like made him specifically come across that way, but I feel like I could just see him kind of being that person very, very easily. But Molly,
Yeah,
yeah.
because when he was answering the questions, he was saying he was good at everything. He's like, I'm not concerned about
Oh yeah,
anything
yeah.
that's gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna be great doing it. At all the things that are happening in Survivor, and I was like, I don't think you are actually going to be great at everything, but okay. But he is like a strong person, and he said he does like diving, like he has like those qualities
Sure.
that I think he is going to do really well in the challenges. But then he had that self-awareness of saying like he had to also play the game strategically and not like so how Hunter would win all the challenges but then not have like as many people relationships wise, and so
Hmm.
then David was saying he wouldn't play like that, so he was at least aware. But I feel like in general if he
Hmm.
wasn't gonna win all the challenges then he would get voted out, so like I still don't think people are gonna still see him as a threat. That I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I already honestly am regretting my decision because he like I just feel like he could do a lot of things. He could be really athletic. Maybe he'll bond with people pretty well. But I also now remember him saying that he hasn't really watched a lot of Survivor.
He has not.
No.
Yeah, he knew probably, I feel like, the least of anyone.
I
But that's not
yeah, I
necessarily a bad
well,
thing.
I will say Chrissy's interesting here. And Molly, I feel like you need to like still officially what do you want
Yes,
to
well, I
Yeah,
say?
claim
Do you want
yeah.
to
Christy
Yeah,
as
officially
the
let's talk
last
about
trust her?
pick.
Chrissy. So, yeah, Molly, who's your
Yeah.
pick?
I'll take
And why?
Christy. Well, I
You
think
could just
that
choose to have 5 people on your team, I guess. No.
no, I honestly Christy could surprise us because people could like I
Mm,
think as oldest woman on this cast, like I think
yeah.
obviously like that's gonna put people just like a she's not strong or she doesn't want to like all the things that you would assume from an older woman, like not older, but like
Hmm.
like oldest person on this
Right.
cast,
Oldest person, yeah.
that people wouldn't want to play with her as much. But I think that she could be pretty personable and likable for across the tribe or in general. If she makes it to merge, I think she could make some good alliances.
Oh,
I
she's a
just
fire lieutenant.
worry. She is a fire
She's
lieutenant.
not like, yeah, she's not going to be a slouch in the challenges, I don't think.
Yeah.
Will she be able to remember people's names? Is my one of my concerns
Oh
because
yeah.
she can't
Mm,
remember, and I get it. It's some people just don't have a long memory for like past winners and everything
yeah.
else. But my concern with her actually is that she didn't like. It sounds like she didn't train or prepare for the game.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
hope that she at least worked on making fire, because that's the opposite of what she does in her job.
right, that's true. Oh, but she could be the first person to ever not make a fire, but just keep putting out the other person's fire, and then they can't win.
Honestly, that might be it. That might be the strategy for her.
Yeah.
I don't. I hope she does. Like, I think that it's fun when people that we underestimate, for whatever reason, do insanely well. Like, we bring her up again. But Carolyn Weegar for me was immediately like, no, nah, no. I know that anyone
Yeah.
else could win here, but she's not gonna win or come close. And I was very
Right.
wrong about how close she came and how brilliant she is. Right, so maybe Chrissy will. I mean, but I also think Chrissy has a lot working against her. Even just the fact that she's not like studying Survivor. That's one, and she didn't seem to train for Survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she wasn't even
Sorry,
the one.
Molly.
I forgot who it was. Who, when somebody asked who their favorite Survivor winner is, and they said Diggler? Who was that?
That was some guy who said that. I think I don't remember.
Yeah, I forgot
Yes,
who it was. An
yeah.
early interview, but I was like, that made me laugh.
Maybe Joe
But
Hunter or something. I don't
it might
know.
have.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Joe. I
Oh,
think
it was Joe. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was coming back.
that was funny. But
Gabler.
yeah, no, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Because
It's
he
like,
meant
who?
Gabler, but
He meant Gabler, yeah.
close.
But Chrissy, yeah, no, Chrissy, I think it really felt like she just watched like one, maybe two seasons of Survivor, and that was all she's seen. So I feel like that gives me the vibe of somebody who's not going to be very strategically savvy for the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's not going to make it far. She could just be somebody who they kind of try to keep around because she's not going to, be a threat to win. And she's maybe finds an alliance and just kind of, I feel like she's going to be somebody who's very loyal to an alliance, which could be an asset to her. Like, she's going to be somebody who will like die for her team, and that if that team ends up having the numbers and being strong, then I feel like she's just going to be somebody who they want to keep around. So if she's going to make it far, I think that's her path.
Right. If she's going to be, I was going to say, I don't think she'll have the opportunity to be loyal to an alliance, unfortunately. But because I'm looking at this tribe, and there is a world where I think she could do really well, but I look, and just judging based on age, even like Mitch is 34, Kyle is 30, Camilla's 30. But that's at least what the wiki says. David's 38. Charity's 33.
They're all in their 30s except her.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And so that's where, honestly, I don't love this tribe division, because I do feel like, especially if she's first out, like it's just hanging her out to dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really do. I do think it's gonna be her out first on that tribe.
See, I don't know,
Sorry,
actually.
Chris.
The more I think about it when I look at it, because I feel like New Era Survivor is a little bit different in the way, like, I feel like 10 years ago, if you would ask me that question, like, yeah, no question, she'd be the first one out. But I feel like now, and maybe not with this tribe, because there aren't a ton of, like, huge Survivor fans here. But I feel like they're just like, no, that's too easy. We have to make it more complicated. Like, we have to think 5 steps ahead. And I feel like that's just very New Era Survivor, is that I feel like just early on people aren't making the obvious choices as much as they used to. But
it'll be interesting. But yeah, it's fun when they don't make the obvious choices. I guess for me, it's like Chrissy and David, to me, are the two. If they go to tribal, I would bet that one of them's going to go first.
I don't think they could get out David, though, because he would hopefully be good for them in challenges.
Yeah.
But I do feel like this is a more physically fit tribe in general. Like, I feel like Kyle's pretty physically fit, maybe. Even Mitch, I mean, he's a PE coach. And David, like, Chrissy's a firefighter. Like, I think probably will be underestimating her challenge performance. So I feel like I don't think that this is going to be like the disaster losing tribe. I think personality tribe, maybe.
Yeah, because even what we said with Charity, like, it could be Charity out first if she's as commanding, or whatever else she's said that she feels that she might be, then
Yeah.
maybe it's her. So I don't know, but
Well, she's
I
not going
would
to be
like
first
to
out
be
because she's on my team.
surprised. And yeah, I was gonna say David's gonna make it to the final 3, so
Yeah.
I'm ready
Yeah.
for that.
All right. Well, we have our teams complete here. So to summarize all of our teams, Team Matt, you
Mhm.
have Shaheen, Thomas, Mary, Justin, Camilla, and David. My team, Eva, Joe, Kevin, Cedric, Charity, and Mitch. Team Molly is Star, Bianca, Stephanie, Say, Kyle, and Chrissy. So those are our teams, and we will be rooting for them all season long here.
I almost have
So
an all-female team.
do you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just have
wow.
Kyle.
Almost.
I was
Kyle
gonna
is the
say.
one outlier there. Ooh, yeah, I don't like how many men I have
Yeah, same.
when I look
I
at
know.
it. Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable.
Sorry, I took all the women.
Yeah, I don't like rooting
It's
for men.
yeah,
That's not
yeah. Blame
not my
Molly.
brand.
Not usually. I know it feels a little strange, but here we are.
Yeah.
We'll
Well, we
see.
will be doing regular check-ins on the draft as the season progresses here, see how everyone's doing. But yeah, Matt, this was so much fun to do our first draft. So thank you so much for joining us for it.
Yeah, you know what they say, you never forget your first. This is so special. So thanks for having me. And now I just didn't know how drafts I didn't know how it would feel, but I feel like oddly connected with Thomas, who I wasn't feeling amazing about. I feel oddly connected
Yeah.
with David. So yeah, I'm just gonna maybe I'll have to reach out to all of them and be like, hey, I feel like we're bonded now because I drafted you. I This is so new. Oh my gosh! But thanks for having me. This is so special. And uh,
Yeah.
I, I mean, who do you? Could we talk about like? Does one of us have the best draft team?
I was trying to I was trying to look at that.
I haven't thought about it yet.
How would
I
we
haven't
grade it?
either.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
Matt, I think you have a pretty strong team. I
You
don't
know what?
know.
I'll take it.
I think your team, Matt.
You know what? I do think I do feel like I didn't have to pick anyone, and part of it too is just like the tribes that we were like the tribe that I started with. So because I
Yeah.
got my number 1 pick, and actually Thomas on my list, even though this evolved over the interviews, he was my number 2 pick for some reason. Justin was my like up there with number
Mm.
4 after Bianca. I'm still bitter about that, Molly. But we'll be okay. And then Camilla also was in my top. So I'll take it. I think maybe I did have like but you never know. You never know.
You
Like they
never
might all
know.
go
You
out
never
back to
know.
back.
I know.
So, who knows?
I constantly surprised by this show as to who ends up going far. The people who you kind of look at their first interviews and think, oh no. I mean, like you said with Carolyn, who would have ever thought? So, and now,
No
I
one.
mean, she could win another show here. So
We could
you
only
never know
hope.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. But yeah, this was really fun. We need to keep doing this. We will do this for more shows and more seasons for sure. Matt, anything you want to plug? What do you got going on? Where can
Yes.
people find you?
Yeah. Just tune into Pod Friends, interviews with people in the Rob as a Podcast community. And I always encourage people to go back and check out some of the old interviews because they never really get old. And it's so fun because there's someone even on Twitter, which I don't really use, but that I'll pop into like look at my notifications, who's like, oh, I just listened to this interview that you did 2 years ago with so and so. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I fully remember that conversation, but it's cool that people are tuning in. And I encourage people just to like check out the guest list. Maybe there's someone who you really like and want to know more about who you'll check out. And again, you can just search for Pod Friends on wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe, and all that stuff. And yeah, leave a voicemail, speakpipe.com/podfriends. Yeah, where could the people
Yeah,
find
yeah.
you? Either of you, really.
Well, yes, we are at Let's Chat Reality. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, on TikTok if that's still around, and I'm at Michael Horn 23 on Twitter. That trying to get off of that slowly but surely,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael Horn Blue Sky dot whatever it is on Blue Sky, the much happier place. And Molly, you are at Molly Ross underscore. Is that right?
Yeah, on Instagram, that's my most active social media.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next week, and we have lots of fun shows starting. I mean, Love is Blind's coming back. We're going to cover that once it's all over. Survivor starting in just a couple weeks here. And we got Traders, The Challenge, bunch going on here. It's a busy season as shows are all coming back. So we will try to cover all of it as much as we can here. So be sure to follow us and subscribe, and we will talk with you all next week. So bye, everyone.
Bye.